Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Everything Vaguely Paranormal. I'm Shelley Pruitt, and my partners in the paranormal, Mr. Blake Smith and Mr. Ryan Roberts. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
How's it going?
It is going great because you guys, I have to tell you, I am so excited, and I still can't believe she said yes because I did ask her for sure. Our special guest tonight, and I am just going to jump into it because y'all know I have been jumping up and down, been so excited to talk to our fabulous guest tonight. Can I go ahead and introduce her?
Go for it.
Okay, let's
go.
For it. You have seen this fabulous lady on Ghost Adventures, on Portals to Hell. She has helped to author and contributed to over 20 different books. She is a partner and educator at the University Magickus, and she is a contributor on the Witching podcast. I believe that's her podcast. I'm just a contributor. I mean, she contributes. You know what I mean? I'm so excited, y'all. I'm so tongue-tied. Maybe she'll forgive me. But I want to introduce to you the good witch of Hollywood, psychic medium, Miss Patti Negri. And oh my gosh, Patti, I'm sorry. I'm bungled your intro. I'm so excited.
Oh, you are so cute. You didn't mess it up at all. It's absolutely perfect. And I love what you guys put together, the pictures and the music. It's like, wow.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, come on. And I'm going to tell you guys right off the bat that Patti is a wiener wrangler. She said that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people know my Willow. I have a Willow report every week that I tape at the same time as my Witching Hour podcast. I have a little racing wiener dog. She is fast. She just goes the wrong way. So you have to like when they go like the wrong
Brian's.
direction.
That's
let
so
it
cute.
sit there. I love it. I love it. So you race wiener dogs, even though she runs the wrong direction.
Yes.
I love it.
Her predecessor I had for 14 years, Dora. I used to actually, because I used to run a production company, and I helped run the Wiener Nationals, which is a West Coast hot dog chain called Wiener Schnitzel. It's Western states. They sponsored the wiener dog races in like 7 Western states. I ran them for a while. And the first time I was in the middle of nowhere, Texas, I was surrounded by 200 of these short, funny, stubborn, smart dogs. I'm like, I must have one. And I've had one ever since. So her predecessor was a racer for 14 years, raced at Los Alamitos and in 2 wiener dog racing movies. It's a thing. It is a thing.
I love it.
She was the slowest, fattest, fluffiest, shortest wiener dog on the circuit. And she was like Miss Congeniality. All the dogs had finished. And there'd be Dora.
Just trotting.
The crowd would cheer. She'd get all the television time every time, whether it's the commercials or the race. Even when she was 13, she got made it on the cover of a magazine with Mike Tyson because she did another movie where she drug him around. Said she was hysterical. She passed on after a long, beautiful life of the shortest, fattest wiener dog. And along comes my beautiful little Willow, she's an athlete. She's thin and fit, and she's the fastest wiener ever. And she's racing. It's like, we're gonna have a contender, a real racer. And halfway, she turns around everything. At the racetrack, on the TV commercials, in the backyard. It's like, no, but
Oh man, that's
No, that way. That way.
she's in the lead. She's in the lead. She's going back.
oh man.
Oh,
Hey,
Oh,
Particularly good one, I guess.
well, if she, I mean, if she goes backwards enough, she will be in the lead eventually.
There
at
you
some
go.
point, you know what I mean? It's
I love that. Oh my gosh. Now I know that people are tuning in. They're not tuning in to hear about wiener dog races, but I got to tell you, we're going to let you hear some things about Patti you may not know. Now, of course, Patti, everybody knows you from Ghost Adventures. Was that one of your first kind of forays into the ghost hunting television genre, or had you been doing it prior to that?
I had done some things prior to that. I mean, this is who I've always been. I've been talking to the dead people since I could talk. I started doing seances when I was 7 years old, but I kept it very, very private. I ran a production company. I just that's my private life. I was a witch. That's my private life. And I produced big shows. In 2008, when that big corporate crash came, corporate entertainment, which is what I kind of did, became a dirty word. All of a sudden, everything crashed. Nobody could hire us doing shows in Vegas. And reality television was going up, up, up. And somebody asked me, they go, Patti, we know what you could do with seances, the way you lift the veil. We need you to do a seance on a reality show. And I'm like, no, that's my private life. I can't. That's my private. Please, please, please. I'm like, no, please, no, please. And I'm looking at my empty calendar, like, well, what's the name of the show? And literally they go, well, it's called Mobile Home Disaster, and it's on country music television.
Oh my!
That's a hell of a first show.
You in the world would watch a show.
I didn't find that on your bio, Patti. I didn't find Mobile Home Disaster.
No, you didn't. And I'm like, who would watch that? Nobody'd watch. Okay, I'll do it. And I went, and it was the most satisfying thing I'd done since I could remember. I helped a human little girl that everybody thought was crazy because she was drawing portals on the ceiling. I'm like, no, there's portals on the ceiling. I helped the spirit cross over. I helped the cast and crew, which are real kind of Southern Bible Belt people, have a new thought process. Like, this isn't scary or bad. It's real. And it was the best thing. My improv skills came into thing, my really being real legitimate medium Patti. But okay, never again. This was so fun, but never again. It aired 2 months later, and my first phone call was from my biggest corporate client. I did created shows for her bank across America. Hi, Patti. Hi. I saw you on TV last night. I'm like, oh, yeah. I didn't know you were into the paranormal. Yeah. I'm like, my voice is starting to squeak. Yeah. She's like, oh, the paranormal, and started to tell me her first ghost story. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm out of the closet. I'm out of the broom closet. I'm out of the psychic paranormal closet. Why am I separating this? And I haven't looked back. I still have my production company. I don't have time to do anything with it at all. And this just took over all of a sudden, because I am in Hollywood. I am on both sides of the camera in it. I'm smack in the middle. I became the person to call. Nicole Richie, Jeff Lewis, non-paranormal shows, being a paranormal, if they needed a house clearing, if they needed a seance, if they needed a medium or a witch, I became the person to call. Ghost Adventures was kind of a fluke, not until 2015. I really was supposed to be that one-off guest. You know how they're at a location, and they have the local, either person who experienced it or the local medium who, this is what I saw. And that's what it was. They were doing a haunted Hollywood issue and a thing in 2015. And they had heard, I'm on the board of the Hollywood Arts Council, that I had just done, a fundraising ghost hunt there. And that I was talking to Charlie Chaplin in this exact thing. And he told me all this stuff, and little beknownst to me, that was the exact chair he sat in every night or every week for years. And they had told Zach Bagans there. So he's like, they called me in to be that one person, and we just hit it off. And I guess they figured out or saw what I did on other things. So I just became the person to call. I've done about 2 episodes a year for the last 8 years, which is a lot because it's kind of a boys show, 16, 17 episodes, which next to the boys, it's always an adventure. It's always fun. I never know where I'm going, because if I know where I'm going, because they want it so real and not planned, you don't know there's 3 murders in that room. I have to go in blind and say there's 3 murders in that room.
Right.
And if I do know there's 3 murders in the room, they won't have me do that. I'll stand outside. If it's a house like something, go, okay, this is what I've experienced here. You guys go. Because they really are, no matter what everybody says, it's authentic as it gets.
So in that moment, like I find this super interesting whenever we speak with psychic mediums, and everybody's different. Everybody works different.
100%.
So for you, what is, when you get on a location or get to wherever you're going, maybe it's a reading or something like that, what is your feelings that you get? How do you receive your messages?
How do you open up, kind of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, just how do you?
Yeah, I really do like lift the veil. Like I said, when I was 7, I work with energy. I'm very elemental in my work, and my air and fire, like the pagan that I am, like anybody shamanic. I work that way, and spirits have just always talked. I even teach this in my school. I use all the clairs. Sometimes I literally see, oh, there's a shadow man. Sometimes I see in my third eye. Great. Sometimes I just know. Sometimes I feel. I've done it so long. I'm not going, I'm seeing you with this eye or the inner ear or outer ear. I just see it. And spirits all talk different. Sometimes it's very emotional, like you're getting emotional message. Sometimes it's very visual, you're getting visual. Sometimes sometimes it is just a knowing, you're tasting it, you're feeling it. And again, that's how I teach people to really develop their gifts, because everyone really can learn to do it, varying degrees, but it's in us. It just got taught out of us in our Western, non-magical, non-mystical society, where all the focus has been left brain logic and none of the magic. We just have to bring the magic back. So I go into a location and I just will walk through, feeling the heavy, feeling the light, feeling here, talking to spirits and seeing what something happened. All of a sudden I'm going around going, okay, I'm being choked right in here. Yes, somebody was choked to death right in here. I'm feeling 3 little girls here. It's just what I'm sensing, and whatever sense happens to be coming out.
So you said that everybody has it. How would one open themselves up to get that nowadays?
The first thing, I'm actually teaching a mediumship series right now, is getting out of your own way. We all use our logical left brain and we focus on that. Stop at a red light. It's 8 o'clock, get up, whatever that is. We need that. And that's where all our focus has been through education. The right creative, intuitive, spiritual artist side is where that spirit information comes in. You have to learn to shut down that logical left brain. I feel grandma standing behind me. Oh, that's ridiculous. Somebody opened the window. You have to shut down that chatter and then allow this. Oh, hi, grandma, that is you. Don't censor yourself. Just say, okay, I'm going to just go with that's grandma. Do you have a message for me? It's a thought pattern or something. And then the more you develop it, it's just like going to the gym. I give people 1 million exercises. Of course, breathing exercises, meditation, sit and watch a candle, watch that black spot within the candle, get into a self-hypnotic state, be able to see spirit. But more than anything else, it's letting your right brain, that knowing, that spirit. You can use divination methods, great to start learning, whether you're using pendulum, dowsing rods, tarot cards, a ghost meter, a K2 meter, whatever, is like to validate and help guide. Sorry, this keeps making noise. I don't know why.
That's okay.
It's okay.
It happens.
In that moment, someone really needed you.
So, and again, the number one thing is don't be afraid of being wrong. The less you're afraid of being wrong, the more you'll be right. If you're sitting here, there's a giraffe in this room and there wouldn't be a giraffe in this room. So I'm not going to say giraffe. If say giraffe, there probably was a giraffe in that room. We talk ourselves out of it. We have, my logic tells me to do this. My intuition tells me to do this. My gut tells me to do that. Those gut things, that's getting into the intuition and the heart. When our heart tells us, that's the purest of all. And science is actually even finding that we have thinking muscles within our human heart, literally. And when we say my heart tells me to do that, it's not even going to be colored by our education or belief system or upbringing. It's the purest, along with the gut. So it's learning to dance between this, all the logic and the intuition, knowledge and knowing, and trusting it. It's about trusting.
Does everyone possess the same amount of ability, or do some possess more than others?
No, I think not everybody's going to be whoever the most famous mediums or psychics are. Like everybody can take piano lessons. Everybody can learn to play piano. Everybody really can. I could play Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Not everybody's going to be a concert pianist. You know, some people are better at this. And I teach people to be better. To learn what your strongs. I have them do these visualizations and things. Now, were you really seeing that with your eyes, or were you feeling it, or were you hearing it? See which are your strong clairs and see which are the ones you have to develop. And it's literally learning your own spirit language. Like we have to learn to like Spanish or French. We have to learn to talk our language with spirit, whether with our guides or our higher selves or our angels, whoever we work with. It's how you communicate with them.
I love that. I'm sorry. I was going to ask a question. Patti, I know that you do channeling. And that fascinates me. I think that would be incredibly scary to go, yeah, go ahead, take it for a spin.
My body.
Yeah. What kind of, does that have in that moment? Are you kind of conscious that you're channeling? Are you hearing the words? Are you, obviously I don't know if it's obvious or not. Are you feeling their emotions, or do you just kind of, when it's over, kind of have like you've kind of been asleep for those few minutes, and does it have a lasting effect on you?
It's a little bit of both. I let somebody into my body. I never give them 100% to take over. I keep 15% Patti, 20% Patti. If it's a serial killer, I'm going to keep 30% Patti. So I'm in control to some extent. Where we let spirit in is the back of our head, that's why when you go on investigations and stuff, put your protection oil or just rub your fingers right here. We know we want this open. This is our third eye. We want this, the occipital, whatever, right? That's closed. That's why when you pray, you bow your head. That you want shut, unless you're channeling and you know what you're doing. But it's just, you let spirit, whether it's that channeling, all of a sudden your face shapes and like, oh my gosh, that's my mother's voice coming through, which, I've had more people run out of the room, or but it's good things. And again, most spirits are good. Because of television and everything else, most ghosts are good and have lots to say. I've gotten iPhone codes from spirits channeling so that the widow and child can get the pictures off. It's not all serial killers, but I get weird body, because it is like you're sharing your body. I forget what movie it was, Steve Allen, that you are sharing your body. So it's like, but the weirdest things that have happened with that, actually some of the weirdest things with channeling for me is been at the Cecil Hotel in Los Angeles. That's that Alyssa Lamb water tower.
Yes.
Been there. Anybody. I did the 2-hour special Ghost Adventures when they launched on Discovery. I did a 4-part with TFIL overnight with Elton and Corey when they did it. I did a CW show not too long ago, whatever that was called. And that place takes you, I think not pure channeling, but just walking up to it, I didn't know where I was going. All of a sudden I was so depressed. I just wanted to kill myself. And that's not my personality. It's just like, by the time I walk in and Zach's like, okay, Patti, there's 700 rooms. They're all open. Where to go? I'm like, oh God, I'm in a trance state. And I'm like, oh, this is that elevator. And I took him up right to a room. And all of a sudden I'm like, I got to get out of here. I got to get out of here. Literally, I'm like walking to a window. I'm opening the window. And Zach's yelling at me, what are you doing? Close the window. What are you doing? And I kind of go into this little cross between dream state, trance state, little girl thing. And I'm like, the part of me that was still Patti is going, why is he yelling at me? He doesn't yell at me. I just got to get out of here. And I'm opening the way. He's like, sit down. And I sat down, and there was a little SLS guy dancing. But out of the 700 rooms, I led him to a room. Somebody jumped out that exact window. And here I am opening the window. I got to get out of here. And he's like, think I'm going to jump out. I don't think I would have. And then he led me to the room, and I allow that spirit to take me over, being attacked. Not just I see somebody being attacked. I was being attacked. And same thing, I'm holding myself like a little 8-year-old who has to go pee. And he's like, where are you being attacked? I can't get out of here. I don't know what to do. He's like, where are you being attacked? And the part of me still, Patti's going, how do you say that on television? And I don't know what I said, like lady parts or something, because I was raped and murdered. The weirdest one also was at the Cecil. It was with Elton and Corey, the TFIL overnight guys. We were in the heart, and I was channeling. I rock when I channel a lot, and we were in the hall and I thought I was talking. I could tell it was a druggie, somebody tweaking, but I thought I was just talking and talking. I was so violently, somebody had to put their hand behind my head so I didn't knock myself out. But I just thought I was talking and talking and talking. All they heard was gibberish. And I didn't know that. I thought I was talking. And Corey, who I've been working with, he goes, we should play that backwards. I was speaking English backwards.
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Get out of here with that. And that's not something most people can do.
Yeah.
I can't even like spell my name backwards. Really? I can't like maybe Negri. I'm so non-dyslexic. Other than that, like I would have to spell it out. I can't. So there is no way I could talk. But in my experience and my training, the other side is reverse image. So it just didn't get reversed for us. So those channeling, that's weird. But, you know, sometimes, again, it's just like the most amazing informational thing. And you take on their persona a little bit, or their movement, their voice, their accent. But if somebody's too worried, like say if I'm sitting around a seance table, whether it's 13 people around my dining room table or 60 people or a gallery with 1,200, if somebody's frightened of that, I won't do it because I don't need fear brought in, because I'd rather go, you know, Grandma, you can't come in, but this will freak them out. So I'm going to just say, you said this. I'm just in my school of thought, I want everybody as comfortable as possible.
Yeah.
Right.
Now,
So I was going to say, jumping back to the Cecil just real quick, I just kind of want to know, in your opinion, since you've been there so many times, what do you think it is about that location that it either draws or the way it affects you? What do you think it is about the Cecil?
It is everything about the Cecil. It is the ground below it. There is all sorts of weird things that run under the ground through down. It's right by Skid Row. I mean, a rat didn't want to let me in the first time I was there. Like usually rats, they go the opposite way. This one, I'd go right and the rat would go right, and I'd go left and the rat.
Oh, that one wanted to fight you. Yeah. The rat was like, come at me, Patty.
To fight me and stop me or protect me. I'm like, I don't know. But that area, it's like a swath of depressed area. The building was built to be a beautiful, elegant building, and then the crash happened. So it's always been a place of depression and sadness. More people have jumped out of those windows, thrown babies out of those windows. Alyssa, LM, 2 serial killers live. I mean, it's just a place of darkness and sadness and lots of drugs and alcohol, because that's the world that it is. And whenever that happens, dark energies do get in. They just do. Dark energies. And I think a whole egregore has been created that's worse than all of its parts, worse than a sum of all its parts. Between the land and this building, and it's because it was built to be fancy, all this marble holds thing. It's like a stone marble, it's like a crystal. It's like it is. All this stuff being held over this land. It's like the perfect storm of darkness.
And is it drawing in more darkness the longer it's there?
Oh my gosh, what's so horrible now? Concept good, not good. We have a horrible homeless problem in Los Angeles. They are moving in homeless people. I mean, great concept. 700 empty rooms, more than 700 homeless people without homes. But the place makes you want to kill yourself. The place makes you depressed and feel homeless. And it did that to me, a person mentally fairly stable without any addiction problems. It really affects people with problems, and that's everybody moving in. Honestly, last time I looked, only 30 some people had moved in out of the 700 rooms because they'd rather sleep on the street than in that place. And now the ambulances are arriving every day, and they walk in like zombies. I go there, they walk in like zombies. They come out like zombies, more than they would be. I so badly, and I know the city won't allow me because it's run by the city now. I want to gather every healer, shaman, priest, rabbi, preacher, witch doctor, everybody of magical ilk in any form, to do a big hold hands kumbaya around the place and clear it, because it needs it, because again, it's already happening.
So you do think it could be cleared? Because that was my question. Do you think that it could be basically washed clean of that darkness that's there?
Clear it by myself. I don't think but I think enough power of love, enough power of light could. That's why I would want all belief systems there. Just
Yeah.
Just coming from a healing place. I do. I would hope. I mean, it's
Yeah.
such a beautiful building. You don't want to tear it down. And I do believe that light beats dark, that light has to win if it's strong enough. You bring a candle into a dark, scary room, you brought in light. Yes, you see those scary ass shadows everywhere, but you brought in the light.
No.
You can say ass. We're an 18 up. That scary ass shadow.
I kind of want to double back to you were talking about channeling a while ago. Have you ever had to fight to get control of yourself again?
Not too hard. I mean, a little bit. It's like doesn't want to let go. But again, I'm so trained in this my whole life. It's like no, and that's why I study different religions and philosophies and belief systems, because you're going to work with an Egyptian spirit different than you're going to work with an Irish spirit versus different than a whatever. So I have enough knowledge of everything to how to well armed, so to speak. So it hasn't taken too long. It can be draining. My worst problem with whether it's channeling or with the spirit realm getting opened up is if anybody gets disrespectful, that's when all the bad stuff happens. Whether I don't usually get disrespectful, but if somebody else gets disrespectful and I don't keep them in control, if I'm in charge, or if I misstep I get lazy or I miss a step in setting up my protection realms. That's the two things that have happened bad. I was doing a thing in my own home, which is crazy warded and protected and got a great ghost, got a great haunted doll, but good. I was doing a thing I had a AP reporter, a Black Dahlia thing, and George Hodel does not like me. I've channeled him at the Black Dahlia house. He does not like me, knew me coming. And I was setting up with my then producer for my old podcast. And we had all this stuff. And she wanted to use the Ouija board, which I've safely used since I was 7. But she wanted to talk to a friend of hers and nobody was there yet. So I did not set up my wards. Dr. George Hotel came into me and jerked himself up and pushed me so hard into the back of my chair that I heard this crack, crack, crack. I'm falling down to the floor. And my producer at the time, she's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "No." And I always say I'm okay. I get my arm cut off going, "It's a flesh wound. I'm fine."
Okay, that'll be fine. I'll be fine. Yeah.
I thought he broke my ribs, but he'd hit me so hard that it ripped all the cartilage off my ribs and floating ribs. It was
wow.
My gosh.
Urgent care. And another time this is my spookiest story. We were at a house in my neighborhood. I live in an old 1920s, the first movie enclave in the Hollywood Hills, right under the H. It's beautiful. Old little bungalows like mine, movie star mansions built in the 20s. But this house, it looks like a haunted house. It was the old movie stars built by Charlie Chaplin for one of his many girlfriends, for Mary Astor, a famous actress of the day, like silent film. It was a total party house for years and years and years and years. A decadent Hollywood party. It's probably great. In the 60s, the Rolling Stones manager bought it, and the Stones stayed there. Mamas and papas, Graham Parsons, all these creative, high vibration people. Probably again party house. Then they moved out, and the person who invented the real life sex doll moved in, and he even moved out because it got too crazy. Those big, not blow up like real life sex doll. And then my neighbor for 7 years, Marilyn Manson, moved in.
Oh, nice.
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 And he was a beautiful neighbor, but he even had to eventually move out. So this house had chaos and creativity, and it looked like it was built by Masons, like sacred geometry. It's like literally there was a compass drawn in the floor when you enter in the wood floor, the stained glass, leaded glass, exactly 12 windows, spiral staircase. It's like everything conducive to either ritual or magic or spirit work. And we were doing a seance and had a lot of young people at the table. And you guys know, young people post-puberty, but not too far in their 20s, have so much energy. That's where poltergeist. So I had a table full of these people. We were doing a documentary about the house. So it was a 4-camera shoot. It was a big shoot. And the kid was one of the kids was getting disrespectful. I kept saying rude, stupid things. And there was a spirit there. There was 3 main spirits there, and they weren't demonic. Demons get so much ridiculous credit. It's just a yes, ghost, the demon wannabe,
Exactly.
Just trying to scare you kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But big in life, big in death. These were Hollywood people. And,
Right.
like Bob the Quiet Banker is Bob the Quiet Ghost. These were Hollywood people from 20th century. And they just did not like this smart ass kid. So at first he said something, the French doors flew open and everybody's screaming and just old school French doors flew. And I'm like, wow, the producer side is going, wow, that's, I'd never fake anything. That's amazing. Then that happened again. And then there was a speaker on the floor, old school, how big can your speaker be? And it came on doing white noise, sounded just like a spirit box. White noise. It wasn't even plugged in. We didn't realize that until later. But it's building. This tension is building. And I'm trying to keep the spirits at bay and everything. Again, he said something else really, really stupid and disrespectful and rude. And not him, but the cameraman directly facing him burst into flames. Literally.
What? No way. That's crazy.
A V up his back, like angel wings of fire up his back. He was not standing in front of a fireplace or a candle. His shirt burnt off him like it was a synthetic, but it was a cotton. It should not have done that. 2 cameras actually caught it. One camera started filming the ceiling or the floor. I guess you test the metal of a small room and a lot of people bursting into flames. His camera, the poor guy was painting this way, wondered why everybody is screaming and pointing at him as he's flaming up the back. Cool witch medium Patty becomes medic Patty, which I am. I'm EMT1 certified cardiology tech. Drop and roll. Oh my, calling in. This is not okay. We're cut. This is not okay. No one bursts into flame on my watch. This is spontaneous combustion like but the cameraman, who was a super skeptic, didn't believe it all, was so intrigued by spontaneously combusting and bursting into flames. He's like, I'm okay. No, I'm okay. He was a filmmaker of his own, right? He had done this one film. He's like, I'm okay. I have a sweater because a shirt, but I'm like, I'm looking at the blistering on his back. I'm like, no. He said, no, really, I'm okay. This is cool. I'm okay. So I talked to the spirits. I talked to the kid was no longer going to be a problem. He was like the choir boy in the corner. Shut up now. So we finished it, but crazy stuff. A glass flew from 15 feet away, no one near it. They tried to push that same cameraman off the ghost must not like cameraman off a cliff because we live in a cliffy area. Just crazy. But the coolest, what turns it into, we did finish and we got some amazing information. But it was hard. But the coolest thing is 3 weeks later, the cameraman goes, because I said, got to go to the doctor. That's like 3rd degree blisters. He goes, Patty, look at my back. And he showed me his back. And where the blistering had been, it totally looked like he had went and got a tattoo of a dragon. Open mouth, winged head, into the shape of a serpent. And that is the exact energy I called in to shut down the seance. I worked, look, it's scary. I work dragon magic. I'm a dragon girl. Dragon is crossroad magic. I'm looking at his back, and that is exact what I called down to shut down the seance. I'm like, oh my God, you have a tramp stamp of a dragon on your back. That is the coolest thing I have ever seen.
I bet he wasn't a skeptic after that.
No, he wasn't. He was so blown away by it. He wrote a script about TV medium, me, basically, who did every reality show, me. And then it called it The Portal. And then a portal opened. And then it becomes a horror film. The kind that I actually like. They're funny and scary. He wrote it with Stephen Dorrington, the guy who wrote League of Extraordinary Gentlemen and the whole Blade series. So legit, both of them.
Yeah.
They haven't done it yet. I hope somebody fabulous plays me. Margot Robbie would be okay.
Go ahead and manifest that, Patty. Manifest it.
The thing is, but the thing is, I actually, because of my training and experience, I sat down with him for 5 hours. I go, Laurent, you cannot say that in a script. He's like, but you said that. I go, I know I said that. That does something. That opens a portal. That calls in a spirit. You don't want to be one of those cursed horror films, do you? It happens all the time. You've heard those, but The Exorcist and Poltergeist and this and that.
Yeah.
spirit and energy, good, bad, or indifferent, and doesn't know the difference in an actor reading off a script, a big ritual opening of a thing, or somebody really doing it. That's what. So I changed all those words to words that sounded as mystical or spooky or magical, but are not going to open a portal to hell. So if they ever do it, it won't be one of those cursed horror films.
Oh god. Oh
See,
god.
that was actually
Wow.
that was one of my questions that I actually did have for you, because I have watched you do some seances and things on some of the shows you've been on, and I actually got thinking about halfway through when I go, I wonder if the spirits know that she's doing that. I don't want that to happen here. Can they tell the
very,
difference?
very, very careful how I'm
Okay.
setting energetically. Yeah.
Well, I made sure I kept it on completely to the end whenever you closed everything down just to be safe.
Good. Well, everybody has to close it down, open it up, set your own protections. We all need to do that every day in life anyway. It's easy. It's intention more than anything else.
So
Go ahead, Brian.
I was going to say, you said earlier that you have been doing seances since you were 7 years old. Had you been reading about them at that age, or did you instinctually know how to do them?
Yeah, I was, again, talking to spirits since I could talk.
Mhm.
And I think little kids can. I really do think kids can. It just gets taught out of us in our, like I said, modern Western society. It becomes your imaginary friend. Not
Uh-huh.
always. Yes, imaginary friends are great and we need them, but not all are. And I was just really obsessed with the dead and talking to them. But it really wasn't in a morbid or dark way. I just knew they had a lot to say. So I was 7 or 8, I don't know, probably 7.5. And I went in my little suburban LA area, Long Beach home, and in the hall where there were no windows, I put towels under the doors, and with my best friend Sherry Jones, and I'm like, I don't know any dead people. I realized I didn't know any dead people. So I started calling every movie star that I'd heard of, like Marilyn Monroe and John Kennedy, whoever you'd heard of at 7 years old. And my little windowless, lightless, I came up with my first chant or energy. And my little dark hallway filled with orbs and lights and shadows and sounds. And we went running out screaming, but I was also jumping up and down going, this is real and this is controllable.
I like that.
And studied it my whole life starting at 13.
So with the studying portion, so there you have University Magickus where people can go and learn. How much can they learn?
We have about 20 teachers, all different belief systems. We don't say this is the truth. This is my truth or a truth. My partner is a vampire. My other partner is just a businessman. Me, witchcraft, vampirism, the good vampire. Nobody drinks blood.
Is that Father Sebastian? Yeah.
Father Sebastian. It's very elemental. It's very elemental ceremonial magic. We don't drink blood. We drink in life. It's a little hedonistic, but it's life. We have a werewolf teacher, Denny, who's a college professor, and he doesn't put on a werewolf suit. He embraces life and the wild of life. He's very elemental. We have New Agers and alien people and cryptid people and Reiki people and astrology people. And my one rule is, and we just have a new bishop, a Catholic priest bishop exorcist. My one thing is don't tell anybody this is the truth, because everybody's truth is different. There's many ways to get from my house to your house. You can walk, you could fly, you could this, and it's all about a template of figuring out what works for you to navigate your life. It's just different words on different templates of the same universal truths, basically, if you take it down. So yeah. But I think one thing that was good is I wasn't raised with any religion or therefore guilt of that so many people are. My mom would have been a nice Southern Protestant. My dad would have been a good Sephardic Jew. My grandfather came from Turkey, but he was this very famous psychoanalyst, philosopher, very Freudian, hung out with the Hollywood set. He did not anything spiritual or religious was just a weakness to him. Hung out with like Isaac Asimov and Carl Sagan and Norman Lear. But with the religion or God was a dirty word in our family. We just didn't say it because of grandpa's strength. My mom, it was not a mentioned word. But I, being this little kid, would drive by a church or a temple or a synagogue or a mosque or a park and see the energy and I'd want to go in, and I know there was magic there in all of them. And I knew there was magic and I wanted to go in, but we didn't go to those places. So it wasn't until I was 13 and I got brave enough to ask my mom if I could go to church, because I wanted to go to some like born again Christian church, because there was a really cute Christian rock band of the day. Those cute Christian rock band at 13. And I was so scared to ask her, but she's the sweetest mom. I don't know why. To ask her if I go to church, I would have been rather, can I go to a rave? I was already going to concerts and crazy, but she's like, you could do anything you want to do. I'm like, I could do anything I want. And I became a seeker. So I'm like, started going to church and temple and Buddhist and everything. And I kept sampling. I like this about this. And I like this about this. And I like this. And then I think I discovered Wicca first, like that whole Scott Cunningham world, the 80s. And oh, nature, that's me, nature. I've been talking to trees forever. I've been picking herbs in my backyard forever and knowing what to do with them. My mom would find me stuffing like rosemary and mint in her wallet. Like, what are you doing? It's money for money. She's like, no, it's not money. It's like dirt and weeds. And years later, I'm studying. It's like, yeah, use some rosemary, use some mint, whatever it was that I was doing. So it's just in the blood. So I went down that very elemental witchy path, pagan path. And now I'm so eclectic out there. Titles are hard, except I am a witch, I'm a pagan. And I'll take from every damn religion out there, because they all have such beautiful truths within them. Everybody, just to find your own truth that works for you.
I think that's a beautiful sentiment, because that's kind of what I've learned. I would say within the last couple of years on the spiritual journey that I guess I've been on is I'm more subscribed to multiple things, because it's like I like this over here and I like this over here, and I can't be defined by just one set of rules. So I absolutely love it. I think that's great.
Yeah, we really pick and choose. We really do. We like this little piece, this little piece.
It's like you burn sage, you get holy water.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's what my show up basket. I have all, because that's I do. I will have holy water, and I'll have Florida water, and I will have some because between the people that I'm working with to work within their understanding belief system and whatever spirits, it's like that's why knowledge is power in that. It's good.
Now I'm gonna ask for some of your knowledge here, Patti. There is some kind of eggshell protection, something that you make that you put on the back of your neck. Can you tell me what that is? Because, Chad, I've been getting a little too much interest when I go to a haunted location lately, and I'm like, I need to back up.
The best thing to do, cascarilla powder, or cascarilla powder, to say it correctly. It is pure. And it's cheap. You could buy it nice, like at House of Intuition, in little jars. You could buy it in little Dixie cups. It looks like talcum powder. You could buy it that you could make it like chalk. Eggs have been used in magic forever. They are cleansing, whether voodoo and you're rubbing raw eggs on yourself, or this cascarilla powder. You put it in a bath, it cleanses your spirit and aura. Drop it on windowsills for protection, put it back here. And it's completely non-toxic for children and animals and you, which is real important to me as well. As my cat is attacking me.
Oh, hi.
Look at the kitty.
It's crazy. Huh, you're crazy. Oh, she's all hot from the heater. So yeah, that is my favorite. And again, the consciousness of opening and closing this, and usually closing that, unless you know how to control it. I will use oils there, protection oils. If you want to open that up or close that up, I use mugwort, dragon's blood. There's an oil for every need and want. Yeah.
I think
Well,
that's
now-
what I
Go
think
ahead,
that's
guys.
I was just going to say, I think that's just one thing that we've actually never have been told that for back here on the back of your neck. We have we've been told about like how to protect when we go into these haunted locations, but that's actually a new one that we've never been told before on the back of the head. So that is, I'm going to take that and
now you're going to
try
hear it
that.
more from other sources and things. But think about it again. When somebody say you want to pray, you want to open up your spirit, you open that up, to bow that up for spirit to come into. Whatever your religion and belief system, you bow your head. It just is. You will see again whether you rub something on it or just you're consciously opening or closing there.
Well, now I kind of want to take a left turn because Patty, I know that you believe in aliens, and I'm going to quote you here that aliens and ghosts don't go to the same party,
I know.
and so kind of expand on that? I knew that they don't come in when we're trying to find aliens. You're not going to find ghosts the same place.
Yeah, I think what it is obviously different realms, and again, I could be wrong there, just in my experience, but I do think when I was a little kid, some of my friends, maybe those really weren't ghosts. Some of them might, but one of my mentors, one of my teachers was a guy named Maximilien de Lafayette, or is a man named Maximilien de Lafayette. He's written like 100 alien books. And he's an expert. He speaks 21 languages, most of them ancient, like ancient Sumerian, which is actually Anunnaki Nephilim. So he's an expert on that whole stuff.
Okay.
He is one of my teachers and mentors. He gave me, or in one of his books, he gave me ancient Sumerian Anunnaki words and sigils. There's a lot of symbols and sigils and graphs and things. I was with actually a well-known actress in my backyard, and we were going to try this thing. All of a sudden, and I'm doing these sounds and doing these words, and this thing came up. It's like, you're not a ghost. You're not an elemental. You're not angelic. Hi. Hi. And I've only done that twice. And then another time there was, I think 6 or 7 of us, all gifted mediums. We were all part of the American Federation. This guy started the American Federation of Certified Psychics and Mediums. Again, he was a lawyer and a linguist, worked on everything from Area 51 and he said, when he kind of fell in love with what we do, he goes, if anybody needs a professional organization, it's you guys. Doctors have them, lawyers have them, secretaries have them. For you guys, which again, a large percentage of people are shysters and charlatans and fakes. You guys need a professional organization with testing. So we started that. So it was all well-tested people around my dining room table, like, let's do this. Oh my heavens. We started using these same words and sigils, and all of a sudden we all got taken over by these different energies and movements and like body movement. It's like we were creating this, I don't know what, like a machine of movement and body and different tones, different tones and harmonizing body. It was insanest thing. And then the girl started channeling. Like you've heard some of the people that channel, they talk kind of like this, the alien world, totally started doing that. And it was all very positive information. And then this thing, beautiful spirit, just laid its big old arm across my dining room table. It's like, wow. Right. But no ghost came to that. And I've really never had or if they have, I haven't seen them again, because if we're in different realms or different dimensions, if they're in a different dimension, I think, again, there's probably hot spots everywhere. We know there's heavier alien hot spots and heavier ghosty hot spots, and I'm sure they cross over a lot, but I just haven't come to the same party yet.
I have to say, whenever I heard you say that, I actually busted out laughing. I thought, I've actually never heard of aliens and ghosts at the same time in the same place. Usually it's either look up or look here, and
look up or look, exactly.
Right. Yeah, look here or look up there, So I thought that was really funny because, we're kind of alien fascinated as well. I wanted to ask you too. You have been on a lot of different kind of game shows too. I found the episode you're on a Wipeout. Girl, you took that punch to the jaw pretty solid.
I figure if you're gonna do that is it's because I am a witch and I do believe we could do most anything. I had severe health issues between 15 and 30. It's all in my book, Old Romance. But by the time I was 30, I was told, and I was sick and I was a victim of lupus and fibromyalgia and all these hormonal things, because the drug my mom took when she was pregnant with me. And by the time I was 30, I'd been a victim for so long. And my doctor said, wow, if you make it to 50, you probably won't. Breast cancer, this cancer, this, cervical, yeah, you probably won't. But if you make it to 50, you'll be in a wheelchair. And because you already have osteoporosis, because you had menopause at 15 and you all this. And I'm like, I don't like that idea. I'm not going to buy that idea. And I'm not going to buy that diagnosis or prognosis. I'll do whatever. Medicines, I'll walk, I'll exercise, I'll do everything. I stopped getting sick when I was 30. So, period. Didn't get COVID, don't get flu. I stopped getting sick. And so by the time I was 50, instead of being dead or in a wheelchair as promised by medical science, I'm like, I have to prove that I haven't been sick in 20 years. I'm going to do the world's hardest obstacle course. I'm going to try out the wipeout again. What I shouldn't for somebody who had the fractures in her 5 fractures in her back already, and a tumor in my pituitary pushing on blindness on my optic chiasm. Yeah. So and you have to go through physical. And I'm like, I believe in magic, and I believe we can do anything we believe we can do. So I beat over 100,000 people, and I got on Wipeout. My neighbor was the host of the Wipeout at the time, John Henson. And he called me the night before because we were going to do some neighborhood garage sale or something. He goes, "Hi, Patty." Hey, John. I'm like, coincidence. Guess what? I'm gonna see you tomorrow. He's like, "What?" I'm like, "I'm doing your show. I'm doing Wipeout. I've been auditioning for months." He's like, "What?" I go, "Yeah." You got any tips or hints? He's like, "Yeah, don't do it." I'm like, "That's not the hint or tip that I wanted." And I'm like, "Well, I'll see you tomorrow." And I get there, and they were way out in the desert where they can't hear you scream. It was freezing, sideways rain. I don't like cold. And I'm like, and then I see those big pools. I'm like, I'm afraid of heights. I forgot about that. Oh boy. Oh, what am I doing? Why did I go through all these months of I'm like, it took every bit of gumption.
You didn't look scared.
Oh my! It's like I did my air, fire, water, earth, and the first girl came back. They keep you sequestered. All those shoes keep you. This first girl came back with like a fat lip. I'm like, oh my God, I got a gig tomorrow. And the second girl, and they were all half my age anyway. The second girl came back with like welts across her leg. I'm like, oh my God, I did it. I came back perfect. Hardest, most painful, coldest, scariest thing I've ever done, and most empowering. Most empowering. If you think you do this and you face your fears, that's the day I decided fear can freeze you in your tracks, make you not live the life you want to do, not make that phone call, not live your fullness. Or there's $1 million industry in a town where I live. We pay money to do adventure travel and watch scary movies and TV shows. And so that same fear, like I'm so scared and I'm going to ride the double whirly, take it till I'm so scared to have this conversation with my mother or boss, flip it. So it was the most empowering thing I'd ever done. So then I wanted to prove, and I like the challenge of like, I'm not the physical person, so I'm going to get on a physical show. So I got to prove that this is not a fluke. I've got to prove this is not a fluke. And I'm like, what would be good to do that I can't do? Well, they won't let me in the kitchen. I got kicked out of home. I'm going to cook for Gordon Ramsay. I'm going to try out for Master Chef. And
Third season, right?
Third season. I've totally played the witch card. I know Hollywood. I have newt pumpkin soup in my bubbling cauldron. I wanted to talk about, and I do teach kitchen magic because you put love into your food, stir clockwise, counterclockwise to this, what the herbs do, how basil will calm you, how the passion in red foods, magical cooking, whether I can cook or not. I wanted to get that across. So again, I beat way over 100,000 people. Next thing I know, I'm on Master Chef and walking up to that Master Chef kitchen. We'd been a week sequestered already. I'm like, this is the next scariest thing I've ever done. What am I doing? It was just as scary. I don't know how to cook. I don't even know what saute means. I've got to cook for Gordon Ramsay, Joe Bastiano, 2 grandma. It's like, oh my, I want to run, but you can't run. And again, it didn't last long because I don't know what saute means, but I did what I wanted to do. And then one more, I go, okay, third time's the charm. Okay, it could be a fluke. I did the physical when I'm not physical. I did the food, not food. What is something I absolutely have no right doing, no talent for, completely off the mark? And I'm watching America's Got Talent. I go, okay, I have no talent. I can't sing good. I'm a dancer, but not great. I did dance with Gregory Hines, but I'm like, okay. Next thing I know, I'm on America's Got Talent, rolling on the floor, making a complete fool of myself with Howie Mandel, psychically reading his dog, which I knew was supposed to be a mishmash because they're like, not the dog you've been working with for months. It's going to be his son's dog. Make sure you get Howie on stage. I'm like, oh, okay. Make sure you get down at the dog's level. I'm like, oh, okay. I know what you're doing here. Make sure you get Howie down to the dog's level. Like, so here we are at the Dolby Theater, and they bring on this big dog who jumps on. He knew Howie, and we're tangled up in a leash, laughing, gonging, and you try to help him up, and you can't touch. This was even pre-COVID. You can't touch. He always had that germy thing. You can't pick up Howard Mandel. It's like I'm screaming. It's a cockfight. It's because it was male. It was hysterical. So 3 times.
I love that. I love the attitude of overcoming your fear. That's a big thing with us. If we're scared of it, that means we have to try it. We can't. Fear is not productive, so you have to channel it into something that makes it productive for you.
It turns into adrenaline. You could use it as energy. Yeah.
Right. And so that, how would you, if you were going to advise someone, because you just said, oh, I have no talent, obviously psychic mediumship, incredibly talented at.
Well, I know, but not like America's Got Talent. I'm not,
Okay. I think I think if you just started telling them a few things they didn't know, they might have. Yeah.
You don't have to be modest here. You're totally fine.
Yeah. Don't be modest. How would you advise someone to tap into that inner psychic ability? How would you advise them? If like, say, Blake's got a little something, Ryan's got a little something, I got a little something. We have 3 completely different things, but they work very well together.
Which is great.
And there's 2 chaotic energies, me and Blake, and then of course our calming, grounding person up there, Ryan. He is outnumbered 99% of the time, so maybe we should amp him up to help him out.
Well, or he's there to balance you out. Again, that's what's good about groups and like winding and braiding together. I think that the 2 things that is number 1, awareness, because so much we go through life and we use asleep at the wheel, phoned in, automatic pilot. We are becoming those. I go to work, I come home, I do this. Even I do paranormal. Awareness of what's going on and being in the moment. And number 2, intent. I want to develop this. That's knowing, like even right now, if we were starting my class, I would have everybody do a 360 turn. I'm not going to make 360 turn and look at your room. Come back. Now close your eyes. Now do it again in your mind's eye. What did you see Was it visual? Do you remember emotional connection? Were you had any awareness of smell or taste or this part of your room, that part of the room? So we start out there. It's awareness and intention and desire.
So start by being present. Being aware of everything
and
around.
Trying not to do by rote. Like if you go to work to the right every day, go to the work to left. If you never wear red lipstick, wear red lipstick. Do something that out of your comfort level every day and do something out of your habit. Because the more we do by habit, we do become asleep at the wheel. Make every moment count as much as you can. At least the awareness of it. We're still going to phone in some of it, but whatever, even like the most mundane day job, like be present.
Yes, and variety is the spice of life. So you do that. Yeah. So if you had any piece of advice for burgeoning paranormal investigators or burgeoning witches, what would it be?
Do what you love. Crank it up to 11. Do it. I'm going to try it. Dive in the pool. You don't have to test the water with your big toe. Go for it. I don't mean jump in the deep end. Like don't start out at a serial killer's house on your first paranormal investigation. Start out with a team that knows what they're doing. Go to a nice haunted house. But number 1, I think it has to be fun and follow your passion. And then learn as you go, both from experience and then from people who do, or reading or watching or whatever you have to do. I mean, there's no endless of information out there. Some of it's bad, some of it's good, but use your own intuition. Even as a paranormal, even if you're not the intuitive on your team or whatever, we all have this intuition and it got so taught out of us. This feels weird. It's probably weird. This feels uncomfortable. Why? Let's look at it. I'm being drawn here. Listen.
That is it's such. I've recently been learning to teach myself to stop and be present in the moment at haunted locations to tap into that. And
Yes.
I'm just going to tag on to that of what you said and just say, I second that, because somebody who's currently doing that, it leads you in directions, not just in haunted locations, but in life in general. It leads you in the right direction you're meant to go.
Yep.
And I think that's fantastic advice. I love that answer.
Thank you. Yeah, and it is 100% not like, oh, we should go here or this is where I expected to go. All the good stuff happens outside the box. All the good stuff happens outside your comfort level. Truly, look at all the great things in your life. All the good stuff is like, I stepped out of that comfort level.
And me, I just run through like a house of fire going, I got to go over here right now. I got to go over here right now. I do. They usually have to come and find me because I'm like, oh my God, I don't even know which way to go first.
It's like, oh, there's a basement. She's down there. Let's go.
Yeah, we've lost her again. She's down there somewhere.
Yeah.
Love the basement.
So, and speaking, turning this to the paranormal just a little bit here. We know you have gone all kinds of places, and this is one of our favorite things to ask all of our guests that come on here that are part of the paranormal world. What would you say is either your most favorite to go to, or the scariest one that you have been to yourself?
The one you love or the one you'll never go back to?
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I can't imagine. I've never met a place I wouldn't go back to because I like a challenge. So if this is so scary, I don't know what to do with myself. I want to go back. If I could get in the Cecil right now, I would. Again,
and I'd go with you.
Yes. All right. So I think that is that is still the Black Dahlia house is really scary too. That is really scary. There was a place in Broadhead Manor, Indiana, that I kind of got pushed down the stairs. My favorite place is, again, it's not necessarily great for broadcast. I like happy ghosts. I even the Queen Mary. Yes, there's been 300 deaths and ships and things, but there's also really happy ghosts on the Queen Mary. I like the Hollywood Roosevelt Hotel, where Marilyn Monroe is always wandering around by the pool in this chiffon pool cover. And at the Montgomery Cliff Room, I've got to stay there, where he lived for 3 months I didn't know any of this. He was filming From Here to Eternity, and I was greeted by not him, but a different ghost. And they're like, who are you? Who are you? I'm Monty's confidant. I'm his attaché. I'm his assistant. I'm like, oh, you're his boyfriend. You can say that.
Yeah, you can say boyfriend.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah.
It's a new world. It's a new world.
Yeah.
So sorry about that.
That's okay.
My muted phone.
You're very popular.
No, people trying to see if I lived. I just got back from that whole gonna blow up a plane thing, and
your exciting travel. Yes, guys. Whenever we were telling y'all in the pre-broadcast, she had an ordeal. Just trying to get back, and we.
48 hours.
Go ahead.
Yeah, last 48 hours, we had DEA agents, police, airport police, fire. A bomb threat or something got called in, a suspicious package on a plane I was on. We were escorted off. We were sequestered. We were restrained, as they said. I had to go through security 3 times, missed flight, stuck overnight. My luggage is still gone. All my good ghost hunting equipment, all my good witchy stuff, some of my best outfits, my makeup and skincare is probably on a plane that they will go on in Richmond.
Some luggage agent is looking at a K2 meter and looking at a
what the
hell is this?
Yes, they hate me. I'm sure they hate you. But
Yeah.
It's not about and my herbs and oils and witchy stuff. It's like they hate me. They see me coming.
They're like, oh God, it's that California chick again. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, it'll all be fine. Well, gentlemen, any other questions? Because Patti has graciously given us her time to say. Any final questions for Miss Patti, gentlemen?
I don't think that I have one. I just had to tell you thank you for coming on. It's been fantastic.
We greatly appreciate it.
You are so welcome. You guys are great. You're a great team. You're a great host. It was an honor to be here.
Thank you. We certainly do appreciate you and appreciate everything. And Blake, why don't you let's wrap this up. Why don't you tell them everything they need to know? Oh, wait, before you do, Patti, would you like to promote where they can come and find you for your Witching Hour podcast and for your University Magickus?
Yes, Witching Hour podcast is Witching Hour with Patti Negri, because there are other Witching Hours on everywhere, Apple, Spotify, everywhere you get Witching Hour. In audio, in video, it is on my YouTube page, which you can get to from my website or my YouTube page, and it's also on PARAFlixx, my network, my All Paranormal network.
Which we're on.
Yes, you are on. Yes. We love that. So paraflixx.com. And other than that, my school, universitymagickus.com or magicu.org. My book's called Old World Magic for the Magic World, Tips, Tricks, and Techniques to Create. And it's a super easy book of simple life hacks. Why a pinch of salt in your toilet changes everything. Why? Easy stuff. You don't have an hour to meditate. Here's a 30-second way to balance out. Stuff like that. My Power Panty line, my newest thing that I'm passionate about, though they're all in airports.
Do tell.
Wait. Patti didn't tell us this. Wait, what is this Power Panties? I love it. I want some now.
Magic. There's a spell in every pair. Change your underwear, change your life, guys. I have been doing it for over 20 years with movie stars, award-winning. It's like, okay, you've got an important audition or this. Wear this color blue underwear. Picture this sigil or this symbol. Say this 3 little breaths, the 3 little wish or spell, or whatever you want to call it. Just a few months ago, I launched Patti's Power Panty. Go to pattinegri.com or Mystery Control. We have protection. Investigator. I use the Helm of Awe as my favorite sigil. It's that 8-sided cross. It's a rune. My favorite. We have Power Panties, protection panties. They're in black with white. It says protection across your butt, but they expel in every pair. Save your butt. I have.
Is there a mail line coming soon as well?
There's a what line?
Is there a mail line coming as well?
It is a mail line. We have beautiful boxers, a beautiful men's style.
All right.
A lot of people do his and hers or full teams at matching. Drop your door.
Y'all, let's get matching underwear. Yes.
Let's do it.
Superheroes have magical underwear. Mormons have magical underwear. Paranormal people should too. I have intuition. I have dragon. I have strength. I have health. I have love. A lot of couples do matching love because they've got all these love sigils and symbols on them. They're in pink, and the color coincides. The 30-second breaths you put every time you put them on, they come to you charged. Really, I've for over 20 years, I have to have this color panty. And now I don't have any because they were all on a plane. I could show up a pair of boxers or thongs or yoga pant shorts, like boy shorts, every style from teeny tiny to 5X in women's and every style in men's.
I need me some dragon breeches.
We're gonna have to go.
I need some dragon breeches.
We're gonna have to go find some for sure.
I'm a Leo. I'm all about the fire and the passion.
Yes,
I need some dragon breeches.
They're red. They're fabulous. Yes. They are so good. And I again have hoodies, t-shirts. But start with your underwear, the most intimate thing on the most intimate part of your body, those lower chakras. You put that intent on every day, or not every day, or whenever important days changes. You will feel it immediately.
Hot damn.
All right, I'm going after the show.
Yeah, right?
Me too.
Yeah.
I need me some dragon bridges. All right. Well, now, Blake.
Go to pattinegri.com. You can get everywhere. Right. You can get to my legitimate social media, my real Facebook, my real Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, because I do have a lot of fakes out there.
And they can sign up for your newsletter there as well.
You can sign up for my newsletter, which it is just, I'm going to be appearing. I just got back from Richmond, Virginia, the
Hanover Tavern,
which was great, very haunted, old 1700s tavern in the middle of all those battlefields. It was great, freezing cold, but great. I've got Old Globe coming up. I've got a thing in Texas coming up. I got a thing in Arizona coming up. Transylvania, if anybody wants to do a vampire tour with me of Romania, May 1st. With Father Sebastian and myself, we're best friends. He is an expert on lore and history, both the mythology and the reality. We're going to do beautiful magical rituals in Vlad's castle, the real Dracula's castle, the magical.
Oh my God.
Once in a lifetime. I'm so excited.
I like me some Dracula.
It's going to be wild and fun and magical.
Yep.
Guys, you don't need me that week, do you?
No, they don't. Or they could come too. You all come. Make it for part of your show. Do it.
That would be a
Let's
lot of
go.
fun. That would be pretty
That
cool.
would.
Yeah.
I want
All
to
right,
go.
to the passport office this week.
Right.
You gotta have, everybody should have a passport. You guys should all have a passport. I had a teacher teach me that years ago. Always, I don't know why, but you just might need it. Always have a passport.
I will do that. Patti Negri told me to. Well, okay, Blake, why don't you tell them everything that they need to know?
We won't keep you too much longer, but as Patty said, make sure you go over to find PARAFlixx Paranormal Plus. That is where our newest show, After Dark with EVP, is streaming, along with Patty's The Witching Hour as well. We are going to post up our Linktree link tomorrow. That is going to have every link that we have available, all of our social media channels, as well as that PARAFlixx link. And you can get signed up using our code After Dark 25 for 25% off your annual subscription. It's going to have all of our social media channels. Make sure you're following us across the board, as well as our Patreon channel. Our Patreon channel is the quickest and easiest way that you can help support what we do, so we can continue to bring you these weekly wonderful episodes for everything vaguely paranormal. As always, if you have any comments, stories, questions, those can be sent to us at the evppod@gmail.com. That is THEEVPPOD@gmail.com.
Like, share, and subscribe. And so for myself, I'm Shelley Pruitt. My partners in the paranormal, Mr. Blake Smith and Mr. Ryan Roberts. And a very special thank you to our wonderful guest, the Good Witch of Hollywood, psychic medium Patti Negri. We're so honored to have you here tonight. Thank you very much. And as always, thank you for watching Everything Vaguely Paranormal, and we will see you next Tuesday. Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.